And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Anytime you're talking about fundamentals in a market and direction, fundamentals take a little bit of time to play out.
We got crude oil today, kind of trading yesterday's value area really nicely, low to high.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. Our trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good day, friends and traders. Welcome to the market recap for Wednesday, March 23rd, 2022. Again, I'm JD, filling in for Hogue in his absence. I'll be here the rest of the week. Thank you for choosing to spend your time with us. Let's get into today's economic calendar. We had new We had new home sales out this morning, which fell for the second straight month. According to the Commerce Department earlier today, new home sales decreased by 2% and a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 772,000 units last month, declining for a second straight month. We also had the EIA Petroleum Status Report out. The U.S. Energy Information Administration said the U.S. distillate stockpiles fell last week to their lowest since April 2014 at 112.14 million barrels. Calendar for tomorrow, we've got a few things on the docket. Durable goods at 7:30, jobless claims at 7:30, PMI at 8:45, EIA natural gas report at 9:30, and then the Fed balance sheet at 3:30. Those are all central, pardon me again, those are all central time. Check on the news on the Ukraine-Russian front. Ukrainian utilities call on foreign companies to stop buying energy from Russia. And at the same time, Vladimir Putin says Russia will start demanding payment for natural gas shipments to states that it deems unfriendly in rubles. The U.S. State Department has officially declared Russians have committed war crimes, and on the sanctions front, Russians and Belarusians have been barred from the World Swimming Championships. On the economic front, today is the second anniversary of the pandemic low. The U.S. stock market hit pandemic lows 2 years ago today. Since then, the S&P 500 has been up 101% for the best 2-year rolling performance since 1997. Again, new home sales unexpectedly fell last month, the lowest level since November, continuing a recent slowdown in the red-hot housing market, but economists aren't convinced that the declaration will help push home prices lower this year. That came from Market Watch. Fed Governor Bullard came out and said Russia's war will mean less globalization, more fragmentation around the world. Direct macroeconomic effects on the U.S. economy are not at large, but Europe could be pulled into a recession as a result of this war. On a sad note, Madeleine Albright passed away today at the age of 84. She was the first woman Secretary of State. That was sad news. We all remember her from the Clinton administration. And I can never tell if the Washington Examiner is a parody account or not, but today someone there wrote, if Putin is a ruthless operator who expertly infiltrates U.S. politics with disinformation and money, then we have to assume that he is funding anti-fracking and anti-drilling messages in the U.S. and Europe. Is the Washington Examiner for real? I don't know. I can't tell. But let's jump on and say hi to everybody. Tachyon, how you doing? Devont, Spencer, Phil, Scott, Charles, thanks for joining me, everybody. Tachyon, YouTube had some technical difficulties this morning. This is true. We experienced them in the forecast today. We got over that. Killer short in the ES today. 1F period tested value. Nice job, Devont. I had a feeling it was going to do a late spike down, but I don't like trading into the close. It's tough trading into the close, especially if you're in the combine. You have to have those positions closed by 3:10. Afternoon, JD. Thank you, everybody. Crude is great for a one and done, but if you're on the wrong side, no bueno. Yeah, you really got to watch what you're doing in the crude oil market right now. It really whips around. So let's make this short and sweet and just dive into some charts. What do you say? We could start with the S&P 500. So here's the daily, the S&P 500. Still sort of an inside day. We haven't taken out yesterday's low. We never breached yesterday's high. But there was definitely some weakness all day long. Trading below the VWAP. Decent volume. Our momentum oscillator here still sort of pointing higher. Can't call that overbought just yet. But it's looking like we have some downside momentum in the short term. Let's see what the 4 hours telling us. Hovering right around this 20-bar moving average, right in the middle of the range for weekly kickoff, between the high and low. Decent volume on this last 4-hour bar here. And definitely rejection at higher prices. The 30-hour might give us a little more insight. Pardon me, the 30-minute. So after breaking through yesterday's value area, trading below yesterday's value area low, we are seeing quite a bit of weakness here. Saw a nice spike in this last half-hour bar. Huge selling volume on the close. Kind of trickling along this 10-period moving average for the final few bars of the day. This definitely looks weak, and we'll probably see some follow-through in this tomorrow. I'm still not convinced that overall this market is weak. I mean, the trend is pointing higher. Momentum still pointing higher. I'm looking for some pullbacks to buy. But this is our first lower point of control, and, well, we didn't quite break Monday's point of control. But we're trading back inside Monday's value area. Maybe we'll find some buyers stepping in here. Maybe we'll get another day of weakness. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the overnight session here. Let's switch over to crude oil. So here we are on the this is a quote from the EIA. Commercial crude oil inventory dropped by 2.5 million barrels to 413.4 million barrels last week. That's according to the EIA. Total supply now sits roughly 13% below the 5-year average for this time of year, meaning oil is in unusually short supply, and that's definitely pushing this market higher today. Switching over to the 4-hour, marginally higher close on this 9 o'clock bar in the 4-hour, and still just creeping higher. We're above weekly kickoff high, trading above VWAP, above these short-term moving averages. It's still, this market is still looking strong right now. On the 30-minute, we're back inside value area for the day. Made that high early on, about 10 o'clock this morning, and just kind of chopping around. And that's been the pattern that we're looking at. Big moves are happening in the after-hour session, with consolidation coming during regular trading hours. There's a pattern we kind of talked about this morning on the forecast, and it sort of held true today. So overnight, looking to see maybe some additional strength, but you see volume kind of tapering off here during this consolidation. So yeah, that's really telling me personally that this market is still strong, and we'll likely see some more higher prices overnight. On to the NASDAQ. Similar, very similar to the ES. Technically, this is still an inside day. Prices never really breached yesterday's high. It never came close to yesterday's low. On the 4-year, you can see we're kind of bouncing around this 10-day moving average, kind of taking a run at the 20 period moving average right now. We saw a rejection above the weekly kickoff high earlier this morning, and then kind of some consolidation here. On the 30-minute, we had the biggest volume buyer of the day right here on the close, traveling, like I said, not really coming close to yesterday's low, but inside yesterday's range. This is short term. This is looking pretty weak. We did see some strong buying coming in, not strong, decent buying coming in, but rejection at these short-term moving averages. If we're going to see another day of weakness, we got to take out yesterday's low, obviously, overnight. And we also saw some rejection back to the 4-hour. Back here, this February 16th high, we're meeting some serious. We took it out just by a few ticks, and sellers just jumped in. So this could be our maybe minor double top for the next session or two. Overall, this market is still strong. Momentum is still pointing higher. Volume is still decent, but pullbacks are healthy, right? Let's take a look at the gold. This one really popped today. So earlier this morning, we mentioned after taking out or testing weekly kickoff low to have more consolidation, or looking for more consolidation, we needed to take out yesterday's high, and we're seeing that right now. Let's scale it down just a little bit. So we're still trading in this range. We haven't taken out the high from last Thursday yet. That's next on the docket before weekly kickoff high. But this is some strong buying all day long, and I would expect to take out this high, last Thursday's high, most likely overnight. And like I said earlier today, we have some good content on our website about trading range-bound markets. So this is a textbook range-bound market right now. Go to our website. There's opportunities to be traded here if you're looking to trade both sides of the gold market right now. And in the 10-year, I still don't know what's holding it up. I mean, we saw pardon me, I was holding in a cough there. So we saw short inventory overnight just get blown out. This is a 30-minute chart now. Traded right back through yesterday's value area, put in a new high, and buyers are still coming in, even though volume is getting weaker and weaker here. Could they just be flushing out some weak shorts? That's a likely scenario. But right now, 10-year yield sits at 2.31%, and I think that is just going to keep inching higher. So right now, our next target would be to take out value area from Monday, or at least we're trading inside value area from Monday right now. We're right at the point of control. So next step will be value area high from Monday, and maybe we'll run into some sellers there. So that's that. Like I said, short and sweet today. I'm going to jump in for some questions here. Haven't traded the ES all week. So ES was looking pretty strong until today. We saw this rejection, we took up the 3-day high, previous 3-day high, and we saw rejection right up at this 4,500 level. I've been scoping out this this double bottom trade in the ES for about a week now. Never really got to that 45.17 target area. And I mentioned Hoag's 10% rule today. If you get within 10% of a profit target and it trades around there for a certain amount of time, it doesn't hit, then you just get out and look for the next trade. And that's kind of what's happening here today. Never hit that measured move target area. Sellers coming in, trading below the VWAP, approaching that 50-day moving average. The 10-year has still moved above the 20, converging on the 50-day. Overall, and it's technically still an inside day on higher volume. But this is telling me that we will probably see some follow-through on weakness going into tomorrow. Took the MQ trade today. Short and sweet is good. Nice job, Charles. Yes, I'll be interested to see the open interest change for tomorrow also, Spencer. Good call. We'll talk about that first thing. Feels like we're going to test highs. Seasonal fundamentals coming into play with the geopolitics. This is for sure. Short on gold. That was a tough one today for sure. The 4 hour is a great chart to look at. Charles, I've been practicing getting into longer term trades myself. I set up a side account with my broker, trading it on TradingView, and I'm taking longer term trades. Just trading the ES right now. I put $2,000 into account, just trading one lots of micros, trying to see how I can do it swing trading. I've been a day trader all my life, but I'm looking to get into the longer term swings. Maybe if there's an opportunity tomorrow. I didn't take a trade today, but if I see something and I make a trade tomorrow, maybe I'll share my my brokerage account with you guys on the recap tomorrow afternoon. Actually, I take that back. There won't be a recap tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon is the podcast, so you can follow along with that. And maybe Friday morning I will share some of my personal trading account stuff with you guys. Maybe I'll have to check with the boss first to see if we can legally do that, but I'm not adverse to it. I just realized I was still looking at charts there. So we're back now. So like I said, tomorrow we've got durable goods at 7:30, jobless claims at 7:30, PMI at 8:45, EIA natural gas report at 9:30, and the Fed balance sheet at 3:30. Those are all Central Time. I'm going to take a peek at the chat again. Yeah, short-term trading, it's I did that for a long time also. I would look at those, I would look at the 5 and 10 minute chart just for entry and exit strategies, and it can really twist you up sometimes. I understand that. Looking at the longer term gives you a broader picture. You get a broader scope of what's actually happening in the market, and you're not taking yourself out when you should still be in. Entry specifically, if it's in the zones, yeah. I'm right there with you, Charles. I have a long track record of trading that same exact way. So let's take a peek at this day in history. March 23rd on this day. In 1806, Lewis and Clark's return trip began. Having completed the first U.S. overland expedition to the Pacific coast, explorers Meriwether Lewis and William Clark this day in 1806 began their return to St. Louis, Missouri, where their journey had begun in 1804. Oh, remember this one? March 23rd, 2021, the Suez Canal, one of the world's most heavily used shipping lanes was blocked after the mega freighter Ever Given ran aground. It took 6 days to remove the vessel. I remember that one. Oh, here we go. On this day, March 23rd, 1998, James Cameron's epic drama Titanic won 11 Academy Awards, tying the record set by Ben-Hur in 1959. We'll leave it at that. This day in history. Where is nat gas? I can pull it up real quick. So, April contract of nat gas is down 1.2% today. Prior settle at 5.187. Huh? Down a bit. It's an awkward spread. Are you trying to spread crude oil and natural gas? They are still seeking damages from the carrier. That's funny. Well, anyway, like I said, we'll wrap it up kind of short and sweet today. Tomorrow, we'll have the forecast. No recap, like I said, but feel free to join in the podcast. Subscribe to the channel, and you get a notification when that starts. It'll go live on YouTube, and then we'll stream it to Apple Podcasts and also to Spotify. That's the word I was thinking of, Spotify. Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So until tomorrow, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you bright and early. Have a great day, everyone.